Dark roast number 2. Well, the first thing I would say is that next to the last coffee, the Starbucks Sumatra, this is a timid dark roast. In the nose, it has the characteristics of a dark roast, but it's muted, it's timid. I'm guessing it's a somewhat half-hearted dark roast.
Half-hearted dark roast. What a great name for a blend, the half-hearted blend.
I hope it's not from anybody I know. You know, it has a kind of a buttery character in the nose.
Anybody you used to know, you mean?
Yeah, it's sweet, has caramel, but that kind of soft, buttery quality to the aroma is pleasant. So maybe I'm just letting myself be swayed by the transition.
Sipping.
You notice how much smoother this coffee is on the palate.
Yeah.
The structure is understated, sweet, subtle. It doesn't lacks that the bitterness and also the astringency in the finish.
Yeah, better ending.
I'm finding that I need to recalibrate around subtlety with this coffee. I'm trying to get to the other one was so direct. I can see, though, just picking this up on a practical level, picking this up and drinking it and not thinking about it much, but knowing that you're getting something sort of hot, caffeinated, and pleasant. Pleasant, sweet, fairly sweet. You notice we didn't talk about the mouthfeel on that last one, the Starbucks. I think because this has low astringency, that it gives the impression of a more syrupy or viscous mouthfeel.
Yeah.
It may actually have a more viscous or syrupy mouthfeel if we were able to measure that, but I think it's partly because it's, in the roast, I think more sugars were preserved in this coffee.
Yeah, I didn't get syrup in the last one much at all, and that Sumatra oftentimes has that. I didn't get.
Yeah, remember I said in the nose that it had a buttery character. I don't get buttery necessarily in the cup, but it's I'm getting a kind of very nice mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's a sense of viscosity. Very nice.
I mean, this is it's a balanced darker roast. Some people would say it's too quiet, too timid, maybe, or not complex enough. But it's pleasant drinking, and it does. The finish has a kind of a nice balance between the roasty notes and this sort of buttery caramel, something along those lines. And it stays with you. I think in the long finish, the sweetness is dominant, takes over. right?
Mm-hmm.
And overcome the sweetness and overcomes the astringency or bitter sweetness, with the emphasis on sweetness. Sweet, little bitter, and not a lot of nuance going on in terms of flavor, but there's something.
It's not too much. It's definitely not too much. Whether it's enough is it might be a question.
That's good. Yeah, that's true. On the other hand, it's not giving the pleasure of a medium roast coffee where you can start reading clear aromatic notes. I mean, a polite term would be that they're rounded. A less polite term would mean they're muted or blurred. But it's good. It's a nice drinking cup.
I think the fair thing I could definitely say is this would be a coffee that I'd be willing to make for someone who said they don't like dark roasts, and prove to them that they aren't all too much in effect. You know, or just one note shows.
Now, this is a dark roast, Kevin. I'm sorry. The roast is still the leader here. I mean, still the dominant characteristic.
I'll give you that.
I mean, it's not the dominant characteristic, but it's the dominating factor. I think in the cup.
I have no idea what coffees these are. This is a roast.
Should we put milk in this one, or this
let's
is more of a black coffee?
Let's do it, but it might disappear. Okay. Let's put it in.
Or half and half. I keep saying milk. I think this one fades, turns limp in milk.
Let me check.
Don't care for it much. I mean, it does bring out the chocolate, turns that sort of buttery caramel more towards chocolate.
Yeah, there's your chocolate.
It's all right. The finish remains pleasant, I think. But some dark roasts, you put this much half and half in them, and they just turn gloriously chocolatey. Mm-hmm. And neither of these that we've tasted so far do that. You want to look at this one, see what it is? Peet's Major Dickason's blend.
Yep.
That's a surprise.
I know.
This is for those who don't know Peet's Coffee, that this is their signature blend from the old days with Mr. Peet.
Yep, Alfred Peet.
And it doesn't taste to me like Major Dickason's blend. Blends with I'm sorry to say, because I was raised here in the Bay Area with Peet's Coffee and knew Mr. Peet, and it's our institution, even though we may not like the roast style. But the problem here, as I think with blends, is that they're not being very consistent here. Major Dickason's blend usually has a lot more power. This is, you could say that, I prefer this Peet's Major Dickason's to the Starbucks Sumatra, but because it's smoother, less astringent. But in terms of my expectations around the Major Dickason's blend, I think it seems a little half measured, half-hearted.
A little sentimental choice for me, because one of the first times you and I had coffee together in your neck of the woods was at Peet's, and we both had Major Dickason's blend, and I recall it well. And this particular coffee tastes like Major Dickason's Light to me today. It doesn't know,
Yeah.
and I remember saying it.
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Not a full major at all,
Right. Yeah. Right. Maybe not even a lieutenant. Yeah, a cadet.
Staff sergeant. Yeah.
No, that's not fair.